What's up, awesome family, and welcome back to a brand new video. Before the video starts, be sure to subscribe to our channel for daily interesting videos and make sure to turn on the notification button to stay tuned. Thank you and enjoy. We all went through different situations in life. Some of them were weird and some of them were funny, maybe even sad, but the best moments are always the unexpected ones. And that's exactly what happened to a mother of a 5-year-old daughter who was surprised by the consequences of her daughter's actions.
Her jaw dropped and, for a moment, she didn't know what to say. She was caught completely off guard. She didn't know her or her family's actions could have such an effect on other people, and that it had gone on for years without her realizing it. And now that she was aware, she didn't know what to do. Despite her best intentions, things could never go back to the way they were, and it broke her heart. It wasn't something Brianna Heffley Shepherd could have ever imagined, despite having such close ties to the community around her. A native of Tulsa, Oklahoma, she grew up in that city. Her parents owned a construction company, Al-Rock Electric, whose shop was located in the Pearl District, east of downtown. For 30 years, the Heffley family watched the area go from rundown and crime-ridden to hip, young, and promising, and that meant changes for them too. Al-Rock Electric was a family business through and through. Owned and operated by Brianna's parents, it also employed her husband Grant as an electrician. Brianna herself was in English as a second language teacher, but most of her classes were in the afternoon, so she spent her mornings at the office, helping with any task that came along. And they needed all the help they could get when it was finally time to move shop.
Luckily for the Heffleys, business was never lacking for Al-Rock Electric, and when the neighborhood began growing and developing, things got even better. But that came with its own challenges. Brianna's parents wanted to expand the shop and warehouse space, but there was no more room in their building to do so. So, after 30 years, they decided to move the business out of the Pearl District. Brianna had no idea of the chain of events this would unleash. In 2014, Al-Rock Electric opened their new location on South Victor Avenue. The building was 100 years old, but there was room to spare, and it was not too far from the original location. So the Heffley and Shepherd families went back to their routine, and Brianna started bringing her 2-year-old daughter, Rio, to the office every morning. You might not think a construction company is a fun place for a toddler, but you'd be wrong. The company's new building was right next to the railroad tracks, which saw a lot of activity from both passengers and freight trains. Little Rio soon took notice of the spectacle. "We got a front row seat to all of the locomotive actions," says Brianna. "My daughter lives for it." Every morning, Rio would stand on the windowsill and wave enthusiastically at the passing trains, and she wasn't the only one who enjoyed this routine. It didn't take long for the conductors to notice her waving to them, and for them to return those waves, remembers Brianna. As time progressed, it became the ritual. They'd blow their whistles, she'd run to the window, they'd open their windows, and everyone would wave and smile ear to ear. For Brianna, it was a fun thing to watch, especially since it made her daughter happy, but she didn't think much else of it until 3 years later. One September morning in 2017, Brianna walked into the office like every other day. Only minutes later, she heard a knock on the door. There was no one else at the shop yet, so she opened it. It was a man in a bright yellow shirt with earplugs hanging down. She recalls, "I assumed he was a construction worker coming to talk instructions, but when the man started talking, she realized he was there for a completely different reason." 3 weeks earlier, Rio, who was now 4 years old, had started going to school. This meant that she'd no longer get to greet the passing trains every morning, but the train constructor didn't know that. On the first day without Rio at the office, Brianna heard the whistles as the train passed by. She felt bad that Rio wasn't there to wave, so the next day she made a sign that said she started school. She placed it on the window and forgot all about it until that September morning. The man at the door of the shop was no construction worker at all. He was a train conductor. He was there to ask about the little girl with the blonde hair that waved to the trains, said Brianna. He and the other conductors had all been wondering why they hadn't seen her for 3 whole weeks. They had also seen Brianna's sign, but they were too far away to make out what was written on it. So, they had sent someone to find out. Brianna couldn't contain her tears. He said that her waves made their days, Brianna recalled. For 3 years they had shared these moments. Brianna was so touched by this confession that she started crying, and then the man made a touching request. They want to do something for her. They miss her. He asked if they could send her something, and it turned out to be their lucky day. Rio was about to turn 5 in just few weeks, so Brianna told the train conductors they could send her a birthday present. She also invited them to the birthday party. They couldn't attend, but they did drop off a few train-themed presents, just like they promised. We enjoyed a small backyard party with a few family and friends, and lots of train-themed activities for the afternoon, said Brianna, but the craziness wasn't over. Brianna was so touched by the interactions with the train conductors that she wrote about it on Facebook. She did not expect it to blow up as it did. It was so overwhelming and amazing, she recalls. For the first time ever, I didn't see any negative comments on a viral post. It was all beautifully positive, and then something even more incredible happened. Brianna started getting contacted by news outlets all over the country, both big and small, but she had her doubts about the media exposure to her daughter. I only communicated with Good Morning America, but in the end, it didn't feel right about sharing her story with the world any further in that manner, she explains. That said, she believes the anecdote resonated with so many people for a very good reason. Witnessing their unconventional friendship over the past several years has been nothing short of magical, wrote Brianna on her blog. To know it impacted them as much as it impacted us fills me with love and hope. The visit today and their ongoing kindness to my daughter has reaffirmed my faith in goodness and humanity. These are the moments we'll always remember. We would like to hear what you guys think about the little Rio and the train conductors. Let us know in the comment section below. And if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like. And until next time, peace out.